Off the coast of Florida lies a treasure lost to time. For over 300 years, it's remained hidden beneath the waves, surrounded by legends of unimaginable wealth. A Spanish treasure galleon filled with gold, silver, and emeralds sank during a deadly hurricane in 1622, its riches scattered across the ocean floor. This was no ordinary shipwreck. This was a galleon carrying what would become one of the largest treasure hauls in history. For centuries, divers, adventurers, and treasure hunters have searched for it, chasing the dream of untold riches. Welcome to the story of the 1623 Lost Galleon, the hunt for the world's most valuable shipwreck. Let's go back to the early 1600s. Spain is at the height of its empire, controlling vast territories across the Americas. From the mines of Peru and Mexico, enormous amounts of gold and silver were being extracted and transported back to Spain. These riches were loaded onto galleons, massive sailing ships designed to carry the heavy cargo of treasure across the Atlantic. But the journey home was fraught with danger. Pirates, storms, and treacherous waters threatened to sink the ships and their cargo. Each year, fleets of treasure ships would leave the Americas, sail through the Caribbean, and head towards Spain, hoping to avoid disaster. Among these fleets was one particularly famous ship, the galleon that would be remembered for the enormous fortune it carried. In 1622, a fleet of 8 treasure-laden ships set sail from Havana, Cuba. They were loaded with gold, silver, emeralds, and other precious cargo from the Spanish colonies in the New World. Their destination? Spain. But they would never make it. Shortly after setting sail, the fleet encountered a hurricane off the coast of the Florida Keys. The storm was devastating, destroying ships, drowning sailors, and sending the treasure to the bottom of the sea. Of the 8 ships, only one was ever recovered. The rest, including the most valuable galleon, disappeared without a trace. The treasure, now lost, became the stuff of legends. Fast forward to the 20th century. Among those captivated by the legend of the 1622 treasure fleet was a man with a lifelong dream of finding sunken treasure. As a child, he had always been fascinated by tales of buried gold, pirate ships, and lost treasures. And when he heard about the lost Spanish galleon, he knew he had to find it. But unlike most dreamers, he wasn't just content with fantasizing about it. He was determined to bring the treasure to the surface. However, treasure hunting in the 1950s wasn't easy. Diving technology was still in its infancy, and locating a 300-year-old shipwreck on the ocean floor was like looking for a needle in a haystack. Most treasure hunters relied on basic equipment and luck, and often they found nothing. But this man was different. He didn't rely on luck, he relied on relentless determination, creativity, and innovation. He moved to Florida with his family, sold everything they owned, and dedicated his life to finding the lost treasure fleet. Using primitive scuba gear and basic tools, he spent months diving in the murky waters off the Florida Keys, searching for any sign of the wreckage. Day after day, the treasure seemed just out of reach. Finding a centuries-old shipwreck in the vast expanse of the ocean was not just about luck, it was about technology. The treasure hunter realized that he needed something more than just diving gear to uncover the galleon's secrets. That's when he turned to a groundbreaking piece of technology, the magnetometer. Originally designed during World War II to detect submarines, the magnetometer could detect metal objects buried beneath the seafloor. The treasure hunter believed that by using this tool, he could locate the remains of the galleon, buried under centuries of sand. It was a game-changing idea. Armed with a magnetometer, the treasure hunter and his small team combed the waters of the Florida Keys. They slowly dragged the magnetometer behind their boat, scanning the seabed for any sign of the shipwreck. After weeks of nothing, they finally got a hit. The magnetometer detected a large metal object. Excitement surged through the team. Could this be it? Could they have finally found the treasure? Diving down to investigate, the team discovered an anchor. It was massive and old, exactly the kind of anchor used by Spanish galleons. But an anchor, while exciting, wasn't enough to prove they had found the lost treasure fleet. They needed more. One of the biggest challenges the divers faced was visibility. The Florida Keys are known for their murky waters, and every time the divers descended, they found themselves surrounded by clouds of sediment. It was impossible to see more than a few inches in front of them, making it extremely difficult to search for treasure. But the treasure hunter wasn't about to let poor visibility stop him. he came up with an ingenious solution, an invention he called the mailbox. The mailbox was essentially a large steel tube attached to the back of the boat. It redirected the boat's propeller wash down toward the seabed, clearing away the sediment and creating a pocket of clear water for the divers to work in. This innovation revolutionized the treasure hunt. Suddenly, the divers could see the ocean floor clearly, and they were able to excavate much faster. With the mailbox in place, they began uncovering artifacts, pieces of pottery, musket balls, and even gold coins. But while they were finding small pieces of treasure, the motherload, the bulk of the treasure, remained hidden. The ocean, it seemed, was keeping its secrets. After months of searching, the team was running out of time. They had invested everything into this hunt, and the costs of the expedition were mounting. But the treasure hunter refused to give up. He had a saying, "Today's the day." He repeated it to his crew every morning, confident that the next dive would finally reveal the treasure they had been searching for. And then, after nearly a year of diving, it happened. One of the divers surfaced, holding something in his hand. It was a gold coin, glinting in the sunlight, but it wasn't just any coin. It was a Spanish gold doubloon, minted in the 1600s. The team had finally found what they were looking for. This discovery sent shockwaves through the treasure hunting community. The gold doubloon was just the beginning. Over the next few days, the divers uncovered over 1,000 gold coins, all scattered across the ocean floor. It was the largest single discovery of treasure at that time, and it proved that they were close. The lost galleon was nearby. But finding the treasure isn't as simple as scooping up coins. The Florida Keys are a dangerous place to dive. Shifting sands, strong currents, and unpredictable weather make every dive a risk. And while the team had found gold coins, the motherload, the bulk of the treasure, was still out there. The treasure hunter faced another challenge: money. Treasure hunting is an expensive business, and after months of searching, his funds were running dangerously low. Investors were growing impatient, and he was running out of time. Without a major find, the entire operation was at risk of collapsing. To keep the hunt going, the treasure hunter began selling shares in the treasure. He promised potential investors that when he found the motherload, they would get a percentage of the riches. But this was a gamble. Many investors were skeptical. After all, the Galleon had been lost for centuries. Was there really a treasure down there, or was it just a story? But the treasure hunter believed. He had already found gold coins. He had already uncovered an anchor from a Spanish galleon. He was sure the motherload was close, and he was right. Just when things were looking bleak, the treasure hunter caught a break. He had met a historian who had access to Spanish archives in Seville. These archives contained detailed records of the Spanish treasure fleets, including the ill-fated 1622 fleet. The treasure hunter asked the historian to keep an eye out for any mention of the lost galleon, and incredibly, the historian found something. A small bundle of documents that had been overlooked for centuries. These documents contained eyewitness accounts from survivors of the wreck. The accounts described how the galleon had been torn apart by the hurricane. But more importantly, they gave specific details about the ship's location. According to the documents, the galleon had sunk near a group of islands known as the Marquesas Keys, over 100 miles from where the treasure hunter had been searching. Armed with this new information, the treasure hunter and his team shifted their search to the Marquesas Keys. It wasn't long before they started finding more artifacts: coins, silver bars, and even bronze cannons. The pieces of the puzzle were finally coming together. After years of searching, the treasure hunter's perseverance paid off. In July of 1985, one of the divers made a discovery that would go down in history. While exploring a new area off the Marquesas Keys, he saw something glinting in the sand. As he brushed away the sediment, he uncovered not one, not two, but hundreds of silver bars, stacked like a wall, stretching for over 70 feet. This was it, the motherload. The treasure hunter had finally found the bulk of the treasure from the lost galleon. In total, the haul included 40 tons of silver, hundreds of gold coins, and a treasure trove of emeralds. The total value of the find was estimated at over $500 million, making it one of the most valuable shipwrecks discovered in history. The treasure hunter's dream had come true. The discovery of the lost galleon's treasure was a triumph, not just for the treasure hunter, but for the entire team. It was a testament to the power of perseverance, innovation, and belief in a dream. For over 16 years, the treasure hunter had searched against all odds for a treasure that many believed was impossible to find, and in the end, he had succeeded. But the story doesn't end there. Even after the motherload was found, the treasure hunter continued his search. He believed that there was still more treasure to be found, scattered across the Florida Keys. And to this day, his family continues the hunt, following in his footsteps, searching for the remaining riches of the 1622 fleet. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on more incredible stories of historical mysteries. Drop a comment below. What would you do if you found a $500 million treasure? Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.